Hi, everyone. I just wanted to share a quick thought on what Donald Trump has recently said regarding that he wants to get into heaven and that he's at the bottom of the totem pole. Let's just listen to that quickly.
I just want to end it. I want to end it. We're not losing American lives. We're not losing American soldiers. We're losing Russian and Ukrainian, mostly soldiers. Some people, as missiles hit wrong spots or get lobbed into cities like Kiev and towns. But, if I can save 7,000 people a week from being killed, I think that's I want to try and get to heaven if possible. I'm hearing I'm not doing well. I hear I'm really at the bottom of the totem pole. But if I can get to heaven, this will be one of the reasons.
People are going on about him wanting to go to heaven and not thinking himself good enough to go to heaven. And it does show, of course, he's not born again. He does acknowledge the God of the Bible, but he thinks by doing good works he can go to heaven. What I wanted to point out is that the thing he said he's at the bottom of the totem pole and he hears he's not doing too well. What I immediately thought of when I heard that is the speech by Nebuchadnezzar. And Trump really, with his pride, reminds of Nebuchadnezzar because Nebuchadnezzar also acknowledged the Most High God, but he was still proud. And in Daniel 4, we have that whole speech and that testimony of Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar tells there about this watcher that came from heaven. So in his dream. And the watcher said this in verse 17. This matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men and gives it to whomever he will, and sets up over it the basest of men. And that's exactly what Trump was testifying when he says he's at the bottom of the totem pole. I don't know if he even realizes what he's saying, but he is testifying to the same thing, namely that the basest of men get to rule, and that God does this in order to actually show this to the people, that the living may know and see. So that's also something we are living through when we are all able to see that these men that have been set up over us are base. They are not honorable, and the Lord is showing this to the whole world. And Donald Trump, whether he knows or not, by saying that he's at the bottom of the totem pole, is actually saying that he, as the so-called leader of the free world, is the basest of men. And then I also want to add, it was, after Nebuchadnezzar had been restored after his madness, his son learned nothing. And it was in his lifetime that the kingdom was given over to the Medes and the Persians. So we saw the fall of Babylon and the rise of this split kingdom. And I see a lot of that now. I see the fall of this modern day Babylon and the rise of this split Judeo-Christian type kingdom, where they have this unholy mix, where there is Judaism mixed into Christianity, the leaven of the Pharisees. And we see great strife in the world. And what I see is it's basically the two evil sides that are striving who will be dominant. Because if you think of that goat that was associated with the Medo-Persian Empire, it says it had the two horns and the one horn was raised above the other. You get the same thing with a bear, where the bear is raised up to one side. And so what we see now is this great spiritual war to see which one of the split kingdom will be dominant. but it's going to be this unholy alliance between Christianity and Judaism. And that's what I see coming in.